So, welcome back. In this video, we'd like to show you one of our research articles, and this is about driving future mobility by shared mobility, a taxonomy of ride-sharing business models, which we have published on the International Conference on Information Systems in the end of 2020. So, in the current corona pandemic, it might seem a little bit far-fetched that we research shared mobility, but before the corona pandemic and also after the corona pandemic, this will become a very important topic for all of us to tackle the global climate challenge, because the easiest way to reduce transportation in individual cars and the car emissions is by sharing the car by multiple persons so that we can save individual car rides. However, the challenge that we face is that we currently lack a common understanding when we talk about different ride-sharing business models. So, how can we cluster them? How can we differentiate them? And which archetypes exist in this area? So, the leading research question from this article is: what archetypical shared mobility business models prevail in the context of ride-sharing? For this research, we followed a three-step process. So, first of all, we conducted a literature and database search, and we identified 61 providers which we investigated further. Then we proposed a taxonomy, and this taxonomy yielded 16 different dimensions. And eventually we calculated and conducted a cluster analysis in order to reveal 5 typical business model archetypes, which I would now like to introduce you in further detail. So, on this slide you can see the result of our business model archetypes. We identified 5 different archetypes, and there are 3 main differentiations among them. So the first lies in the relationship between the driver and the rider. So it could be that the driver is an end customer offering rides to another end customer, then we would call this a customer-to-customer relationship. But there are also different models in which we connect a driver who is hired by a company and offering his service to an end customer, then for example we would call this a business-to-customer relationship. The second differentiation is how long the travel is that is covered by the ride sharing. So first we have some operators who rather focus on short distance ride sharing, so for example within a city. And then we also have other ride sharing providers who focus on long distance ride sharing, so between different cities and counties or even countries. And then we have a third differentiation among our archetypes, and this is the type of the technology or the generation of the technology that the operators use. So there are still some operators which use the rather old-fashioned browser-based version of connecting drivers with riders, but then we also have some providers who only offer a mobile access via an app, and where you don't even have an opportunity as a customer to use their services from a traditional desktop or laptop. So with these different archetypes which we derived, and also with the taxonomy which you can see in our paper, we hope that we identified a common vocabulary for not only our research community but also for practitioners, so that in the future when we research ride-sharing business models or ride-sharing overall, we can speak the same language and have a common understanding.